In this final presentation, we will process a combination check and ACH electronic payment check run to demonstrate how to produce checks for non-ACH vendors and generate ACH remittances and an ACH file for ACH vendors. We will process this by following the tasks located in the check, printing, and electronic payment menu. First, we will go into invoice payment selection. We will accept the defaults for the due dates and click Select. At the selection window, I will select the first two invoices for two separate vendors. One for Airway Property Vendor, which we previously set up for ACH electronic payments, and the other for a vendor who receives a physical check, and click OK. Note at the invoice select screen has the include electronic payment vendors defaulted to yes. Note at this field we could have changed whether we wanted to include electronic payment vendors or not, or only electronic payment vendors. You could also override the vendor setup to pay electronically by checking the Pay Electronic Payment Vendors by check instead. I'll next click on the Proceed to confirm the selection of the invoices. Next, we will print an invoice payment selection register. To confirm the invoices that we selected for payment. Notice there are two check entries, one for Airway, which is set up for ACH payments, and one for Compact, which is not. At the lower left, note the summary of checks and ACH entries. When we exit the selection register, the system asks us if we want to print checks and remittances. We will answer yes. At the Select Payment Type screen, we are given the options to split the combined check run to checks, electronic payments, or both. We will select both for this presentation and click OK. The next screen is the check printing and electronic payment screen. We need to confirm the bank code and the check form. And finally, confirm the remaining fields as you would normally do before clicking Print. Click Print to print the physical checks. When this is complete, the system will proceed to the electronic payment remittance printing screen. Confirm the effective date is populated with the proper date that the funds will be released from your bank and click Print. For our purposes in this presentation, I will preview the remittance advice. Note, this form has the vendor information, including invoice information and the vendor's bank account. This form could then be sent to the vendor in lieu of a check, or if Sage Paperless Office is enabled and set up, this could automatically be emailed to the vendor. Next, we will print the check and electronic payment registers. For our purposes today, we will preview the registers. First register is the typical check and electronic check register that you would get normally when you're sending out checks. Notice this does include the physical check we are planning that we printed, plus the ACH remittance. Next, we will be prompted if we want to print the electronic payment register. We will say yes to this to view that. Note the electronic payment register. It has the bank code and your bank account number along with the routing transit number. Below that, it has the vendor information along with their bank account number and routing transit number, and a total distribution for the ACH. We will now click Yes to update the check and electronic payment registers. If all is proper and the check register is updated properly, we can then return to the check printing and electronic payment menu and click on Generate ACH File task. At the Generate ACH File screen, confirm the fields and enter the file code to use this run, which will be part of the resulting ACH file's name. It defaults to the month and date of your computer, but can be changed. Click Proceed to generate the ACH file. You should now be able to confirm its generation by going to the secure location discussed in the previous videos. Note the file that was created. The name of the file is the bank code, and the comment we put in there for the file code to use 0531 with an extension of ACH. Note again that this is just an electronic flat file and could be viewed with any kind of editor like Notepad. For example, if we click on Edit here, we can actually see the contents of the ACH file. We can see the airway property vendor and in there the amount that was paid to them along with their banking information. Again, let me repeat, since this has sensitive information, this should be put in a secured location on your network that only people with the proper privileges can access. This file is now can be uploaded to your bank either by using the bank's website to browse and select it, or if they prefer you to perhaps email it to them. This completes the presentation on how to process a combined check run for regular checks and ACH payments. Thanks for your attention.